What if I told you that 73% of American families are toxic and yours is probably one of them? Would you have the guts to find out the truth? I'm gonna show you 7 signs your family is toxic, and if you relate to at least 3 of them, welcome to the club of most Americans who grew up in dysfunctional families. Stick around till the end because sign number 7 is gonna hit you like a slap in the face. Before we dive in, smash that like if you already suspect something seriously wrong at home. I know this is heavy shit, but ignoring it only keeps the poison spreading. Tons of people drag through life, thinking it's normal to feel miserable around family, normal to dread going home, normal to bite your tongue because speaking up feels dangerous. Newsflash, that's not normal. And today you're gonna see exactly why. Quick preview of the darkness ahead. 1. Families that never apologize. 2. Your feelings get trashed every time. 3. Golden child versus scapegoat. 4. Guilt as a weapon. 5. No room for your own opinion. 6. They compete with you. 7. And the worst, you feel guilty just for being happy. Drop in the comments right now. How many signs do you think hit your family? I'll reply to every single one. Let's start with sign #1, one of the most obvious and soul-crushing. Your family never apologizes. Never. No matter how badly they screw you over, they twist it so you're the villain. Psychologists call it familial narcissism. Pure poison. Think back. When's the last time mom or dad said, "I fucked up, I'm sorry"? If you can't remember, or can count it on one hand, boom, that's your sign. Healthy families own their mistakes. Toxic ones make you carry the shame for their damage. Real story from my life. Mom screamed at me in front of people, humiliated me. Guests leave, and instead of sorry, she hits me with, "You made me lose it. You made me yell." See the game? Their fault becomes your fault. If this rings a bell, drop it 1 inch below. See the number 2. Your feelings get trashed constantly. You're too sensitive. Stop being dramatic. That's nonsense. You're exaggerating. Sound like home. Emotional invalidation is sneaky, destructive psychological abuse. Grow up hearing your emotions don't count, and you stop trusting yourself. I remember coming home, crying after a fight with a friend. Instead of comfort, dad goes, "Men don't cry, cut the drama." How many of you got hit with that? The 3rd sign is when there's a favorite and a scapegoat in the family. There's always that child who never does anything wrong and that one who never does anything right. The 3rd sign is when there's a golden child and a scapegoat in the family. There's always that one kid who can do no wrong and the one who can never do anything right. If you were the scapegoat, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Everything that went wrong in the house was your fault. Everything the golden child did wrong was somehow also your fault. This creates an extremely toxic family dynamic called triangulation. Parents pit the kids against each other, create rivalries, make constant comparisons. Why can't you be more like your brother? Look how studious your sister is. You're the black sheep of the family. If you were the scapegoat, drop a broken heart in the comments, because I know it hurts. And the look, being the favorite isn't healthy either. The golden child grows up with massive pressure to always please, never disappoint, to be perfect. They develop anxiety, imposter syndrome, fear of failure. So it doesn't matter what role you had, whether you were the favorite or the scapegoat. Both are damaging. These first 3 signs are just the beginning. The next 4 are more subtle, more dangerous. And if you have sign number 7, I feel sorry for you. Let's keep going. The 4th sign is when they control you through guilt. This is emotional blackmail, disguised as love. After everything I've done for you, I sacrificed my whole life for you kids. You're gonna give me a heart attack. I just want what's best for you. These phrases are weapons of emotional manipulation. Toxic families use love as currency. They make you feel guilty for living your own life, making your own decisions, being happy your way. They make you believe you owe them your life, that you have an eternal debt you'll never be able to pay off. He'll tell you a real story. I met a 35-year-old woman who'd never had a serious relationship because every time she introduced a boyfriend to her mom would fake being sick, say she was gonna have a heart attack, that her daughter was killing her with heartbreak, and the daughter, out of guilt, would always end the relationship. At 35, she was still single, taking care of her mom, who was perfectly healthy. If your family does this to you, comment "my mom does this" or "my dad does this." The fifth sign is when you can't have your own opinion. In toxic families, disagreeing is betrayal. Questioning is disrespect. Having a different opinion is grounds for war. They want you to be an extension of them, not an independent person. If you grew up in a family like this, you probably have trouble making decisions. You're always second-guessing whether you're right or wrong. You seek approval from others all the time, because you never learn to trust your own judgment. Every time you try to express a different opinion, you were punished, ridiculed, or ignored. This creates adults who don't know who they are. They spend their whole lives trying to please everyone, trying to be who others want them to be, because they never had permission to figure out who they really are. The sixth sign is when they compete with you. You heard that right. Parents who compete with their own kids. Parents who feel jealous of their children's success. Parents who sabotage their kids' achievements because they can't handle the fact that their kid is doing better in life than they did. This is more common than you think. Mothers who compete with their daughters, who get jealous when their daughter looks good, when their daughter is happy, when their daughter is successful. Fathers who downplay their kids' achievements, who always find a flaw, who are never satisfied with anything. He knew a guy who passed a really tough government exam. Instead of celebrating, his dad said, "Well, the salary isn't that great though, right?" His mom said, "I hope you don't get all cocky now." Imagine how this guy felt. On what should have been the happiest day of his life, his own family managed to make him feel bad. If this happened to you, if your family never celebrated your wins, if they always find a way to diminish your achievements, comment "This happened to me" and share your story. And now we get to sign number 7, the most destructive of all. You feel guilty for being happy. That's right. You're scared to be happy because you've been programmed to believe you don't deserve happiness. Toxic families create kids who self-sabotage. Every time something good is happening in your life, you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. Every time you're happy, you feel guilty, like you're doing something wrong. You've been conditioned to believe you don't deserve good things. This happens because in toxic families, when you were happy as a kid, they'd find a way to ruin it. When you were excited about something, they'd bring you down. When you were doing well, they'd create a problem. So your brain learned that happiness is dangerous, that it's better to stay mediocre, because at least it's safe. He'll tell you a hell case that really stuck with me. A woman I knew was making good money, had a good relationship, was building her own house, but she couldn't sleep at night. She got anxious, thinking something bad was gonna happen. She felt guilty for doing well while her family was struggling. And you know what she did? She sabotaged everything, fought with her boyfriend, quit her job, sold the house, because she couldn't handle being happy. If you recognize yourself in that story, if you're scared to be happy, if you sabotage yourself every time things are going well, you're not alone. This has a name. It's called survivor's guilt. You feel guilty for doing better than your family. Now I want you to stop and count how many signs you identified in your family. If you have 1 or 2, your family has some issues, but nothing that can't be worked out with communication. If you have 3 or 4, your family has serious dynamic problems, and you need to set boundaries. If you have 5 or 6, your family is definitely toxic, and you need to protect yourself. And if you have all 7 signs, I'm sorry, but you grew up in a highly dysfunctional family. But look, I'm not just here to give you the diagnosis. I'm here to tell you this can be fixed. You can break these cycles. You can heal. You can build a healthy life, even coming from a toxic family. It's not easy, it's not quick, but it's possible. The first thing you need to understand is, it's not your fault. You didn't choose to be born into that family. You didn't ask to go through this. You were a kid. You had no way to defend yourself. Stop blaming yourself for something you had no control over. The second thing is you have the power to choose how you're gonna live your life from now on. You can choose not to repeat these patterns. You can choose to heal. You can choose to be different. If this video helped you understand your family better, subscribe to the channel because I'm gonna teach you how to protect yourself from toxic family, how to set boundaries, how to heal from family trauma, how to break cycles that pass from generation to generation. Next week, I'm gonna talk about how to emotionally protect yourself from toxic family, practical techniques you can use today. Leave in the comments how many signs you identified in your family. Be honest. And if you know someone who needs to see this video, share it. Sometimes we think we're alone in this, but we're not. There are a lot of people going through the same thing. And remember, recognizing that your family is toxic doesn't mean you don't love them. It means you're choosing to love yourself too. And that's not selfish, that's survival. Thanks for watching to the end. See you in the next video.